Hi guys, and welcome to Flower Girl Deluxe. This is my second channel where I kind of just talk without a script, without too much planning. Yeah, you guys know how YouTube works. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, please go ahead. While you're at it, please subscribe to my main channel, which is Flower Girl. That will also be in the description. Today, I just wanted to talk about this thing I've been seeing, and I've seen it for a while. Like, I feel like this has been around for a while. It's about the divine feminine energy, which is a very interesting concept. Recently, I watched a documentary called Twin Flames Universe. Actually, I watched two documentaries about it. One of them was a Netflix one and one was an Amazon Prime one. They both were really good. Basically about this weird cult where they talked about the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And in that cult, it was kind of this very strict, like, dichotomy where they would pair up straight women in couples together, but then say that one of the women was like actually the divine masculine and the other was the divine feminine, to the point where the divine masculine would then transition to being a man. So yeah, some of this stuff is a little wild. I will say that the creators that I'm showing today, I'm not saying that they would, that they are that extreme with their ideology as the guys in Twin Flame Universe. But I just think it's an interesting concept. I do think the concept itself kind of has some weird things about it that are very, it's kind of just like gender roles, but make it spiritual. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting. However, I could be wrong. That's why we're gonna take a little look. All right, let's go.
If you want to become more magnetic and have things come easily to you, then this video is for you. Your feminine energy is so freaking powerful, but we've been taught to suppress it because it's so freaking powerful. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about divine feminine energy. And I promise you, when you step into your feminine, your entire life is going to change. The feminine is open to receiving. You will never catch someone in their feminine rejecting compliments, gifts, or help from others. The feminine is comfortable in her own energy. She does not need anything or anyone to feel complete. She stays true to herself and she doesn't give a shit what other people think. The feminine is sensual. She lives in her body and her pleasure. Pause to read some ways you can do this.
Okay, she said pause, so let's pause. Ways the feminine feels in her body is she moves her body, she does dance, yoga, stretching. Sounds pretty good. Eats chocolate, fruit, etc. Tune into taste. Okay. She takes a hot shower and tunes into how the water feels on her body. She rubs oil on her body and affirm, I love my legs, boobs, etc. Okay.
The feminine knows her freaking worth. She's untouchable. If someone doesn't treat her right, she's out. The feminine does not chase. Feminine allows people and things to just flow to her. She knows that what's meant for her will never pass her.
Okay, so some of the stuff she was talking about, such as knowing your worth, I think that's a pretty good quality. I think people should have good self-esteem. I think that's good. Like, no matter what kind of energy you radiate, I think you should try to have good self-esteem. So, with that part, that's not bad. That's not too bad. She could be saying a lot worse, so it's fine. Let's see some more. I'm definitely gonna mute that because there's a copyrighted song. But basically, when you're in your divine feminine, men will be all over you, exes will come crawling back, and manifestations will come faster, and making friends will be easier. Which, I guess sounds pretty good, right? Like, the men being all over you, that's, it's a little weird. Exes coming crawling back, nobody wants that. However, making friends is nice. The manifestations will come faster is interesting. I think the whole manifestation thing, while there are positive things to it, like, thinking positively about your life, journaling, and like meditating on things you want in life and thinking positively, I think that part's good. But the thing about manifestation, like saying that your thoughts completely determine your reality, that part's fucked up, especially for people with like mental illness. And also it kind of completely disregards like things like privilege, income, race, that type of stuff, like barriers that can actually like cause people issues. Instead, it just says, oh well, if you didn't get that thing that you wanted, then you just didn't think hard enough, you just weren't positive enough, and that's very harmful. And I believe that things like divine feminine energy kind of connect to that like spiritual manifestation type of vibe from what I'm seeing. That's what it seems like. We're gonna try some more and see. All right, now we're gonna learn how to use feminine seduction, so listen up.
They're warning that people are going to be so attracted to you after this shift, my love. If you're a wellness girly who already follows me, you probably know that this is going to be a spiritual tip. When I started implementing this in my own life, it changed everything for me, especially when it came to my relationships. Let's discuss Feminine Seduction 101. Disclaimer that you are always worthy as you are, and all the tips that I share are simply about bettering yourself and about loving yourself, along with sprinkling in some energy work, some witchy tips, and some beauty hacks. Now, what we're going to start cultivating is this lighter energy with yourself and the universe. Now, when it comes to people, I want you to start encouraging this balancing act when it comes to being warm and inviting to people, but also being a little bit private. And with this, we're going to start tapping into that said lighter energy with other people. So you're not going to put all your heaviness and all of this weight onto others that you're just meeting. This is going to look like keeping some things just for yourself and keeping an easy energy with other people. So many people don't deserve the access to the innermost world that you've created. You need to start recognizing that access to you is such a privilege, and that you can be warm and kind and genuine with people, but they don't have to know every single detail of your life. And this directly comes from a place of healing, of self-love, and not overreacting to a bunch of emotional triggers. Because, my love, you trust that you have your own back just like the universe does. I'm telling you, it is the most attractive, seductive thing to see a woman or a person who exudes joy, happiness, and warmth, but keeps things a little bit surface level. Now, I'm not saying you need to hide things from other people, but what I am encouraging is for you to keep your class, keep your composure, keep your joy, your kindness, but don't give people all of this access to you, especially right away. It's this quiet kind of confidence and sensuality that people, I'm telling you, are going to be obsessing over.
I always think that like tips like this are weird. Like trying to get people to obsess over you, I think is a weird move. Like I get it, maybe don't go telling everybody everything about you immediately. Sure, I think that's fine. But doing it specifically is like a way to like make someone obsessed with you is weird, because it's like you're doing this really overproduced performance that may not be true. If that's your personality, that's one thing, but if you're performing this like weird seduction tip, that's weird. Just be normal, and I think people can like change their behavior and like do things differently if they feel like something isn't working. But if it's like fine and you're okay, and like being open is and not being secretive is fine, then why do that? Just so someone can be obsessed with you, or you can like fit this like weird femininity image.
If you are a woman who has been operating from her masculine energy and living in fight or flight for years and years, every time you start dating or talking to somebody, you immediately get super attached. And anytime they don't text you back in a day, you're like immediately freaking out and panicking and wondering if they don't like you anymore. And you're always in this state of fear. Here's 3 things that I stopped doing that allowed me to fully step into my divine feminine energy, help regulate my nervous system, and no longer feel like I needed validation and constant communication with a man.
I mean, it doesn't sound like you need like divine feminine energy realignment. It sounds like you might need a therapist. That's what it sounds like to me. The things you're describing sound very like you need a therapist.
As soon as I stopped doing these things, my dating life completely changed. The quality of men that I was going on dates with were the type of men that would open the car door for me, drive across town to pick me up for a date, fly me out to visit them. I started to feel like a princess being courted by these high quality men, and my dating life completely transformed.
Okay. Picking you up for a date. Okay, cool. That's fine. Flying you out. it sounds like you're specifically saying rich men. That's specifically what you want. And I guess this type of thing kind of goes into the like elegance content. I did a video on my main channel about like one of these elegance coaches, and also on this channel about an elegance person. It kind of goes into the like, here's what you do to get like high value men, so basically rich people. So it seems like Divine Feminine, at least her version of Divine Femininity, also kind of goes for this looking for rich men thing. Which I don't like it. It's very it's very capitalist. It's very cynical. It also really perpetuates really bad gender roles that I think are really bad, that need to stop. I think people of all genders should be able to act any way they want. They shouldn't have to conform weirdly to like weird like performance things. It's strange. Also, one thing I've noticed, especially with her, when she says like you were in your masculine energy. Basically, masculine energy is if you are being like, if you're like chasing something, if you're like trying to be controlling, if you're like trying to be dominant, that is masculine energy. But if you're being submissive, using your intuition instead of thinking, basically, if you are receiving things, then you are feminine, which I think is a bad thing that no one should subscribe to. Anyone can have any of these traits. These are not feminine or masculine. I get that, socially that's what we perceive them as, but I think it's really bad to say, oh, this is a masculine trait, this is a feminine trait, because it's bad saying men are controlling. People who are masculine are controlling. Bad. People who are feminine are submissive. Bad. These are bad things that can cause a lot of issues, and they have caused a lot of issues in society in terms of the way men and women treat each other. And I will say, I'm talking in very like heteronormative terms right now, because this type of stuff is very, very heteronormative. They kind of just act like women who like other women don't exist, or women who like other people of genders, or people, or like non-binary people dating another non-binary person. Like these people don't exist. They strictly are in very feminine, masculine, blah blah blah. So that's why I'm saying that.
The first thing is you need to stop talking badly about your past self and show yourself some compassion. Stop saying, oh my God, I was so stupid. That was so stupid of me. I can't believe I did that. Ugh, I'm so dumb. Like I can't. No, you are no longer going to talk badly about yourself, because you are truly in your divine feminine energy. You are showing yourself compassion and love and understanding, just like you would your sister or your best friend. Those past experiences allowed you to evolve and learn.
I mean, that's good. I think it's good to not beat yourself up forever on all your past things you've done. I think it's good to learn from them and acknowledge that, hey, you might have done something that wasn't great. If it was actually not great, I think you should learn and grow. I don't think you should beat yourself up forever until like you just wither away and like self-persecution. I don't think that's good. So that's a good tip. I'll say that's good.
And that brings me to the second thing. Stop making yourself the victim. You are not the victim. You need to rewrite the story in your head about those stories and those things that made you feel insecure and really tore you down and made you question your self-worth and made you feel like you did something wrong in that relationship, even though you ended up really, really hurt. Stop making yourself the victim in every situation. You are still whole. You are still full of love and full of wisdom, and that person just wasn't your person. Whenever you stop seeing yourself as the victim of that past relationship or that past situation, true healing begins to happen, and you start to feel safe and regulated within yourself, and that allows you to welcome in that divine masculine energy and those amazing relationships into your life.
I didn't like that. Again, I like the idea of moving past like trauma, obviously with a licensed mental health professional. I think you should move past trauma in a safe way, especially if you're currently hurting, you're currently in pain. However, the way she said that kind of give me like, basically like heal so that your next divine masculine will not have to deal with your trauma. I didn't like that. Saying like, stop acting like you're the victim, not feeling that. Cause listen, there are some situations, like if you were in a really bad relationship where you were abused, you were the victim. You were. Now, yeah, sure. Are there people who like to victimize themselves with anything? Absolutely. But there are situations where you're the victim, and that's okay to accept that you're the victim and heal from that in a healthy way. But to just say, stop worrying about being the victim, not feeling it. I don't think that's helpful at all.
The third one is honestly probably the hardest one of all, but the most important to master, and that is letting go of needing to control every single thing and other people in your life. And what I mean by that is whenever you truly surrender to not knowing or just letting go of like needing to know why he left you or needing to figure out how to manipulate him or how to manipulate any situation. A lot of dating advice talks about how to manipulate him and how to get your way and how to do this and that. Whereas I try to give tips that are actually rooted in regulating your nervous system and focused on self-improvement and therefore attracting a partner that simply reflects that rather than trying to force every single thing in your life. Let me know if you guys want me to talk more about the art of letting go and surrendering, and I have to make a whole video about that because that is a topic that I think is not talked about enough. When you're at peace and fully surrender to the unknown and you're in that receiving mode, that is when you are in your purest, most beautiful feminine energy and you allow that masculine energy to truly hold you. And the best part is whenever you are in your divine feminine energy, this allows your man to fully be in his divine masculine energy, or your partner. You will create a deep soul connection that is incredible.
Here's the thing. This is the issue I have with these. Everything is very centered on finding like a partner, which I think is weird. Like, I think that, yeah, there are some things that you should, it's good that you learn to let them go, or to at least let them not hold so much power over you every day. However, to just say, if you're a divine feminine person, then you let go and you don't try to control anything. It's okay to kind of steer the ship for some things. It's kind of seeming like she's saying that the divine masculine should be the one to do the controlling, and I don't like that. I'm not feeling that.
I was attracting feminine men who wanted to take from me rather than allow me to live my soft girl life, which is what feminine energy is about. And when I did the work and I started to shift, I'm now in a relationship where I feel so safe and catered to all of the time. I know if I have a problem, my partner's going to come running. And I've never experienced anything like that.
But another issue I have with this is attracting feminine men who all they do is take from you and they don't give to you. Really negative gender roles. Really bad like views of like masculinity and femininity. It sounds like she just has like a more, I'm assuming, healthy partnership, but she's equating that to, oh well, this man is actually a masculine man, he's not a feminine man like my old ones were bad, so therefore they were feminine men. It's good to like feel safe in a relationship. I think it's nice if your partner like takes care of you. I think that's great. But why does someone who doesn't do that, why does that have to be considered a feminine man? He could just be not the right man for you. Maybe he wasn't a great partner to you. Like, saying that man is feminine is bad.
5 signs you're dealing with a hyper feminine man. Number 1, this is usually a big turn off for women. It's when a guy is very indecisive or passive. Oh, I don't know, let's just go with the flow. I can't decide what to eat tonight. What do you think? Always wanting to be led by a woman. That's a hyper feminine man. Number 2, he lacks healthy boundaries. This is something that you need to watch out for in his everyday action, not just with you, but even with his friends. Because honestly, there is nothing for me personally more annoying than being with someone that's a people pleaser. I want my man to have like strong boundaries and standards that make me respect him, and men want to be respected,
I want a man that has strong boundaries that make me respect him. Here's the thing, I think you should respect people no matter what kind of boundaries they have. However, like, I think people should have boundaries, but Again, why does not having boundaries have to be a feminine trait? Maybe this man just has issues with boundaries and he should work on his boundaries. And I don't think that's necessarily feminine.
Number 3, he lacks follow through, meaning his action does not match his words. He is usually, talking a big game, but he's not doing anything about it. Why? Because a masculine man is a man of his word, and a masculine man is a man of doing. They're never gonna say something and do something else.
A masculine man is a man of doing. Masculine men are always doing stuff. I'm sorry, these men sound annoying. It sounds like they are always go-getting something. They can never relax. They can never do feminine things. They can never be indecisive. They just are always doing something and they know everything. It sounds like they're just kind of controlling and they want everybody to know how like masculine and cool they are. That's the vibe I'm getting from the way they talk. I know they see it as like a positive thing, but I don't know.
Number 4, he wants to be chased. A man in his masculine energy don't want to be chased by you. He will find it to be a turn-off. He will be the hunter, the protector, the pursuer. He would want to court you, and he would want to almost win you over.
We gotta stop the men are protectors and providers and hunters. It's gross. Women are not meat. I think both people in the relationship should be reciprocal and liking each other and like doing things to build the relationship. That's just how I feel about it. I think it's annoying to like play games with people and like one person has to be submissive, the other one has to be the hunter. I think that's weird and gross.
Number 5, he loves gossip, drama, negativity. To be honest, I think this is such an unattractive trait. Doesn't matter what gender you are, but if he is addicted to those things, he's definitely in his hyper feminine era.
If a man likes gossip, then he's feminine, because all women do is gossip. And that's bad. Everything women do is bad. Everybody likes a little bit of gossip. It's okay to have a little bit of gossip every now and again. Now, are there times when it's too much? Yes. But gossip is fine. Everything in moderation. Taking a woman out of her masculine era and into her soft feminine era is a flex. That means you're bringing her real peace. Again, why does masculinity equate to going out and doing things and like having autonomy and being assertive? That's masculine. Being feminine is being passive and going around and letting the masculine do all the stuff.
Here's 3 things you can do today that will really nurture your feminine energy and allow you to be more in that beautiful receiving mode to own your fucking power. The first thing I want you to do is to challenge yourself to create something using your hands. This can involve art. This can involve cooking yourself a nourishing meal, knitting something if you're into knitting, doing your makeup, doing your hair. Do something creative with your hands.
Create something with your hands. I mean, you could build like a workbench. You could build like a table. I'm sorry, would that be considered feminine? That is something with your hands. Probably not. That sounds like a masculine trait. Don't do that. If you're building tables, sorry, you're not a divine feminine. If you're working at Home Depot, sorry, not divine feminine. Sorry.
Oh, I know a lot of you guys are really going to struggle with this one, okay? But you have to do it. If you don't do any of the other ones, you have to do this one. Practice saying no whenever you want to say no instead of saying yes. Don't take on another chore that you really don't want to do, but you feel too bad saying no, so you say yes. Say no. Practice setting boundaries, even if it's something small.
I thought having boundaries was a masculine trait. I thought that was a masculine trait. So now it's a feminine trait. Say no and have boundaries. Sounds a little assertive to me. That sounds a little aggressive, actually. I feel like This isn't very divinely feminine of her.
You can tell if a woman is truly in her feminine energy based on the way that she is dressed. Hi, I'm Alexis. I'm a feminine energy and inner work coach. And a lot of the women that I work with, their style begins to change over time. They start dressing in a way that's more classy. It's because of this one thing. The more you are in your feminine energy, the more you view your body as being sacred, meaning you do not dress in a way that's super revealing or provocative. For these two reasons. Number one, your energy is so precious to you that you do not give it away easily. When other people look and see these parts of you, they are absorbing your energy. You do not reveal that for everyone to see. And number two, you no longer seek validation outside of yourself. You're so content and fulfilled, you get that validation from within. When you're in your feminine energy, you dress in a way that protects your energy and truly represents your soul, represents who you are as a woman with your unique style.
Okay. All right. So now we're doing purity culture stuff where if you show your body, you're not being truly feminine. A true feminine woman covers her body. If you show it, you're letting everyone have access to you. No, you're not. You are not letting everyone have access to you because you wear shorts or whatever you want to wear. It's just really harmful to say that. Also, I love the way you dress shows your level of feminine energy. It's just like there's like different power levels of like feminine energy. If you like are modest, your feminine energy is like over 9,000. Haha, the Dragon Ball joke. We shouldn't tell women and femmes that their body and the way that they show their body equates to their worth. No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't do that.
Can I have a masculine career like a firefighter and still be in my divine feminine, or would it be ideal to do something different? Jasmine, if you did something different, you would not be in your feminine energy. Absolutely, girl, you can be a firefighter and be in your feminine energy. Feminine energy is not femininity. Femininity is the idea of what it means to appear feminine. Feminine energy is what lights your soul on fire. It's the hell yes. It's you being connected to your body and your desires. So if your desire is to be a firefighter, girl, that is going to take you to the highest level of your feminine energy possible. If you do anything else, it will disconnect you from your feminine energy. So girl, you go for it. And thank you for your service.
Okay. I mean, that's nice. I like that. So she's just saying that, like, if you identify as feminine and you do something that is feminine, because I like that. I think that's good. However, I don't. If that's the case, then we don't need all these rules. We don't need all these rules about what to wear, what not to wear, and all this other stuff. And it seems that each influencer, each one of these feminine influence people, have their own particular ideas about what divine femininity and masculinity is, which is usually how a lot of like spirituality things are, especially like new age spirituality, and it's confusing. I think you should just do what feels good. If you identify as a woman, if you identify as feminine, then anything you do is feminine. If you identify as masculine, then anything you do is masculine. And it's okay to do some masculine things. That doesn't make you any less of a feminine person, and it's okay to do feminine things. It doesn't make you any less of a masculine person. I think it's stupid. We shouldn't gender things that people do. It's weird. We shouldn't do that. Anyway, this video is probably all over the place, but I just wanted to kind of process all this weird divine feminine energy stuff. Anyway, if you like this video, make sure you give it a like, make sure you comment and subscribe, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.